I've always been a skeptic, but I don't trust anyone, anything, the news, because I did go to school for communications, so we learned television, my degrees in PR. I've learned how people present themselves to look a certain way, the words that they got to use. So I took everything. I was like, I don't know, but I was actually supposed to go to China in March of
Mm.
2020, and I had a flight scheduled for Shanghai. And when all that stuff started happening, I was like, oh well, just I'll still go. Um, but when I started to see more things, I actually ended up texting my parents and my sister. I was like, I think this whole thing. This was January 2020. I was like, I think this whole thing that's happening is going to be so everybody can get the shot. And they were just like, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, no, I really think just because of the stuff I used to watch. I don't know if you know Jesse Ventura. He
Hmm.
had a show like years ago that was like about conspiracies and stuff, and I always would watch it. And then I was like, on all the movies and everything just started coming together, and I was like, I don't think this is real. And so I ended up going anyways to Europe, and then that week I was in London, Paris, and London, and that's when Trump got on TV and was like, no one else can come in from Europe, and then everyone's like, get home right now, it's so serious, and I was like, no, it's not. I'm gonna enjoy my vacation. Like it was crazy, but I can't believe like it actually happened.
Yeah, it's and people are moving on and acting like none of it did, which is
Yeah.
interesting. People are trying to memory hole everything like those past 2 years just didn't happen.
uh,
At what point did you become vocal on social media in general, or even specifically about that?
I think, well, on social media, it was more of during the election.
Mm.
So prior to COVID, I was during the election when I started becoming a little bit more vocal. Um, the second time around, when I was like, "Y'all don't pick Biden. I'm telling you, don't pick him." I'm just like showing everyone, like, "Look at this, look at this, look at this," and yeah, people were just. I was pointing out more of like. Um, I don't even want to call it conspiracies because I feel like that sounds like fake. It's just like the truth. I'll just say the truth. I started posting things and doing side by sides, and people are like, you need a channel. You need, to be more vocal about it. And I was like, I guess. And so then I was like, finally. And a year later, I started podcasting. But it was the election really that did it for me because I was like, no, we can't have him.
Yeah. First of all, what made you feel that way?
Just because I'm more of, and I always tell people I'm more of a message over messenger type person. So like I'm not gonna cancel out an entire person because they said this one thing or whatever. Like if they said this thing that I agree with, okay, cool. Like, but I'm not gonna dismiss someone completely. So it was just more of like the policies, the trans stuff. I'm not into all that. The BLM, not into all that. I'm not into like emotional triggering things. And
Mm.
so I'm a logical person. So when people are trying to persuade me through emotion or saying, well, so and so died because of our so, I'm like, okay, like,
Yeah.
what does it have to do with me? That's not logical. So, yeah, it was more of just policies and the insanity that they were supporting.
Mm. Yeah, I hear that. I think we're living in a, I mean, I guess this has always existed to some degree,
Hmm.
or maybe it's a pattern throughout history because it's just part of the human condition. But now, more than ever in my lifetime, we seem to very much be living through an age of just sort of emotion versus reality,
Hmm.
where it's just subjective feelings and trying to cater to and pander to the most minute and microscopic and minority feelings. Everything's just feelings and emotions
Hmm.
versus objective reality and things being logical and actually making sense. It seems that for the majority of my life, the latter was prioritized over the former, right?
Hmm.
Reality itself was reality itself, reason, logic. That was the primary way people would try to convince people. It doesn't matter if it's politics or if it's social, just generally, right? It wasn't
Hmm.
just like, oh well, I feel this and this person feels that, or this person could feel this or feel that. And now, even in the language people use, it's all feeling based. Just last week, I I was protested for the first time.
Oh my gosh.
I spoke at a
Wow.
university. I spoke at a university in Florida, and there were about 50 protesters.
Oh, I
Mostly,
did see the video. Yeah, I saw little clips.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was emotions, just emotions and feelings. I think most of them didn't even know exactly why they were there, who I was, what I was protesting. It's just, hey, apparently this guy's a bad guy, or he's transphobic, or he's this, or he's that. Right? They just
Hmm.
whatever term, whatever buzz terms they put out, and then people are just there with their signs, and they're angry, and they don't like you, and they don't even know what you believe. They don't know who
Yeah.
you are. They don't. It's just, well, I feel this, and your presence on campus is making me feel unsafe, and it's just feelings and feelings and feelings, and it's I've seen this before, right? I've seen it
Yeah.
happen to other people. I've seen it, the Ben Shapiro situations and
Hmm.
Milo Yiannopoulos, and I've seen these things of these students on campuses,
Oh my
Jordan
gosh,
Jordan
yes.
Peterson, but to experience it myself and to kind of be on the
Mhm.
receiving end, I was like, wow,
You're like,
this is
"Yes, I
quite
made
fascinating. Yeah,
it."
it's quite an interesting phenomenon.
Yeah. That is interesting, yeah, and I like to show those, like Steven Crowder, I'll play those in class because 'cause I'll have kids, like, choose, like, who was right, who was wrong, or who do you think, whatever. It's always interesting to see because those people, yes, are very emotionally driven, they're yelling, they don't wanna hear anything, so it's like, "Why are you even sitting down? Why are you even here? Like, just keep walking."
Mm.
It's and I had this conversation yesterday, I was like, "It's impossible to try to get everyone to think exactly the same way when we've all grown up differently. There's a reason why you think what you do, I think what I do." Even down to, like, my parents being in the military, I have just a different mindset about a lot of things. Um, so, like, what are they trying to achieve by just, like, screaming? Like, it's not gonna make somebody want to be on your side. So, is this a cancel to make you be
Mm.
quiet? Like, I don't what is the purpose?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I don't view it this way
Mhm,
because this is not, I'm not like that. But the way I think of it is, I think it serves twofold purpose. I think number one, it's a weapon, right? It's
mhm,
kind of an emotional blackmail tool, right? If you tell someone that, whether it's sticking the label on them, sexist, homophobic, racist, transphobic, bigot, whatever it is, it's an attack weapon, right? It
mhm,
can shut down a lot of people because then they go on defensive mode and they start defending themselves, trying to explain why they're not those things. And once you've got someone explaining why they're not the thing that it's the going up to a man and, when did you stop beating your wife? And he's like, wait,
mhm.
wait, like you're right. It throws
Yeah,
them off. But then also, I think with people who are also emotionally incontinent, as I call it, I think those emotional tactics reach them perhaps better than logic does, right? These are
mhm.
the type of people, they don't care about facts, they don't care about logic, they don't care about data, they don't care about stats. They're just
No.
like, well, I feel this. This is my lived experience, or this is that person's lived experience. And who are you to challenge or question
Mhm.
that person's lived experience and subjective truth? That's the way I think of it, to steel
It
man it.
it drives me insane because I had this incident happen at work the other day, and, long story short, I sent out an email, and I got a call into the office that was like, "You need to reword your" uh, if I could reread it and show I was like, "What did I say? That's so hurtful." So I was like, "What how you said it, it hurt someone's feelings, and, I just wanna know if you can reword it." And I said, "What about my feelings?
Mm,
What about mine? What about mine? Do I need to be whiny and complainy just to, like, get my way? I'm not that type of person, like, I'm gonna be quiet, and I'm just gonna observe, but, like, it's gotten to the point, it's like, the louder you are, the more obnoxious you are, the more annoying you are, then you get your way because people are just they don't wanna hear you. I think that's why policy or things change because it's just like, "Ugh, I don't wanna
mm.
hear you anymore, and so we'll just do what you want so you can shut up." But
Yeah,
it shouldn't
squeaky
be
wheel
like
gets the
that.
grease.
Yeah, like, I shouldn't have to do that, and so, yeah, it's just let's cater to the crybabies. That's where
Yeah.
we're at in America right now. Cater to the crybabies and, everything will be great. It's like, "No."
Yeah,
Can
and it really won't be.
No,
That's
it
the
won't
thing.
be.
You can get away with it for a certain amount of time.
Mhm.
As I say, you can deny reality for a while, but you can't deny the consequences of denying reality.